Hello everyone, my name is Plushy from the channel Play Bunny, and today we're gonna go through the process of how I made my Abel cosplay from Hazbin Hotel. Lots of people asked about it, and since I never made video on Adam, you can use this tutorial for him too. It's basically the same thing anyway, right? If I remember correctly, the last tutorial was released over a year back. I'm the worst YouTuber ever, I swear. For better orientation, there's gonna be timestamps under the video so you can keep up and, well, let's get into it. This may be considered as a useless part of the project, but it personally helps me a lot and I greatly recommend it. Usually I open the source material and then make tons of screenshots, then I look at the concept art and other stuff the character is based on, to make the project easier. For Abel, I turned on Prime and did some screenshots. You can find some pictures on the web pretty easily. With cartoon characters you'll probably struggle with them having cartoon physics and changing a lot as they move around, but it's not as bad. After that, I'll make a list of the things I'll need for the project and figure out how to actually do them. For Abel, I decided I want both the helmet and the hat, a glowing halo with hoop skirt and big wings. The fabrics I ordered were gold, cream white, and pink, and it's important to kinda know the size of your cosplay related to your own size. To calculate how much you'll need, I have 180 centimeters, so I based it on that kinda. Then I needed a blonde wig, and the rest I had at home, together with all the foam and stuff. The wings are actually made from polystyrene packing foam, which in my country is just called Meralon, so Meralon it is. After doing a list and ordering everything I needed, I was able to start. Please laugh. The dress was more of a trial and error. I started with making the hoop skirt, and then I was layering the fabric based on how it fits me. I would love to give some tips on this, but everything I did was just layering the fabric, pinning it, and then cutting the fabric as I needed to, adding the pink details and sewing them on. Professional cosplayer would probably give you some better tutorial and some actual helpful tips, but in this house, we eyeball it. No, that's really how I did it. After that, I made the sleeves, which were also eyeballed mostly. I went for big and long sleeves. Similarly, you'll have on like church robes. In the show, you can see on Abel the fact the sleeves get lighter as they go up, which I mimicked with some white spray paint. And in the end, the result is not that noticeable, but I know it's there and I like it. I added beige fabric on the inside so you can see the seams. See the seams? Who the fuck wrote this script? And before that, I added the white ends there, which were made with leftover white fabric from the time I was making Adam, so he truly is his dad's son. I sewn on the pink stripes onto the sleeves and the tunic, and the this word here, were made with cardboard and thin foam. I cut up multiple cardboard circles, glued them together, and covered them in black fabric. I added gold fabric where it was actually visible because the black was on the inside, so it creates an artificial shadow, and it's like it's like you're adding the stuff, so it's like looking like in the show, but not like the featherly like stringy texture was made with 1 mm white foam. I just painted them and glued them onto the pack. I added gold lacing to hide the glue, which didn't actually work the best, and I did an alright job in the end, but I wish I made the foam stripes longer. But I didn't have more foam at home, and I didn't have the ability to get into a store, and I also have a quite limited movement, so I had to sacrifice it for the sake of mobility. So that was the thing. So I didn't make them longer, but you guys, it definitely can. That's up to you. So this is my costume, so it's like, you know, the collar was made with 4 mm foam, which I covered in fabric, and the details were painted on. Speaking of that, you probably noticed the dress changed colors through the making. This is because the fabric I ordered was too light, which, if you're using fabric, I just recommend buying it in the store where you can see it, because online it may appear different, so... But again, I didn't have the ability to get in one, so that's like a tip from me, for you. Since the color was not accurate, I had to repaint it, which took multiple days, a lot of paper and tape, and paint, but in the end I like it a lot more. I also added these swirls on it to hide the uneven paint job, and thanks to that I realized that when I'll be making vlogs in the future, I'll purposely go for more decorated fabrics. I like these brocade textures a lot more. Wait, none of you heard I'll be doing vlogs. That's not public knowledge. The hat was made the same way as the collar. Pieces of foam I just shaped into the shape on my head the way I needed. I covered it in fabric, sewn on the stuff I needed, and painted the rest. The buttons were just buttons I covered in fleece and gold fabric, and I glued them on with hot glue, and that's basically it. Yeah, I know, riveting. Feather on the hat was also layered from mirror foam, whose edges were painted pink, since the Abel is all about the pinkish tones, and it's cute. The helmet was something I basically copied from my Adam cosplay. I still had the templates which looks something like this, and so I decided to reuse them and make the helmet out of 4mm foam once again. The foam holds its shape pretty well, and so I covered it in white fabric and made the horns. The horns took like 3 attempts, and I still don't like them too much. I learned that my foam sculpting skills are limited, and to hide how messily they've been done, I covered them in stockings and added the golden spikes at the ends. The mask which so many people asked about is called Shining Mask. I ordered it online and used ever since. I drew the Abel faces in Photoshop and uploaded them through the DIY ability in the app. I don't really have a better way to explain what I did, and there's enough tutorials online, and if I figured it out alone when I was 17 years old, you guys will too. I believe in you. The halos were made with normal fairy lights I got on sale in Penny. Then I took this plastic tube that I cut into a shape to make the Abel's crooked halo shape. I used hot glue gun like always, adding it around the LEDs since they have a wire inside of them so they keep the shape. I just said shape like 3 times in a row. What the fuck? I added battery box on the inside of the hat and helmet, pulled the wire out of it and soldered to the LEDs. It's really that simple. For Adam, I had the design 3D printed and put the LEDs inside of it, which worked better for Adam but would be in my humble opinion much more difficult for Abel. The wings were a pain in the, simply put it. Here little old dumb plushie decided that they want the wings movable, so I ordered this fairy wings pack, but to put it simply, that did not work. It created a hunch on the back, the wings were too heavy, and overall I just didn't like it, so I destroyed my Adam wings, took the backpack base from them, and added these wings there via screws and wooden boards. That I definitely bought and definitely didn't steal at school year back, trust me. This made them removable and they just looked much better. I'm not gonna go through the process of making the wings too deeply, but just know I cut a lot of feathers from police impact. Metal that I glued to the base, which was also made from police metal again, and then painted with gold and yellow acrylic wash. For more details on how to do this, I strongly recommend Miss Twisted's YouTube channel. It was my biggest inspiration and she's much better in this than me. Also, you can look at those like dancing wings on Instagram or something. There's tons of tutorials on how to do this, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna figure something out. Cosplay is kind of about finding your own way on how to do stuff. You don't have to follow these tutorials, like step by step. But it's important that you will look at this and be like, okay, so this person is this technique, and I can use something else too, and that's how it should be done. Find your own ways. The gloves were another quite simple part. I just traced my hand and arm on some black vinyl that I got left over from the ink demon, made them spiked to mimic the cartoony sharp fingers, made the thumb separately, sewn it through, and that's it. I know, boring, but that kinda comes with it. Did I mention you'll need to know how to sew for this project? Yeah, if you didn't realize it till now, you'll probably need to learn a thing or two. The shoes were second-hand boots I found online and I liked them, so I ordered them and painted them white with some textile flex paint. If you'll get any white shoes, it's gonna make it easier, but I couldn't get any. Then I painted the heels golden and added the lacing and buttons. They aren't fully accurate, but I like them this way more and it's my costume, so I dictate the rules. What was left at this point was just styling the wig and gluing the head to it. I don't have any tips on how to style a wig, and there's tons of tutorials online, and I'm still not professional in this department enough to give you guys any tips, and I styled like at this point 3 wigs in my life, and one I didn't finish, and one I had straight out of the package. But it's about learning. I had to add 2 cuts on the back of the tunic. They were there the whole time, only now I'm dressing them, and made them so the wings get under it comfortably. Fun fact, did you know Abel has a pink star on the back of his dress? So don't forget about it. When I'm wearing the wig and hat combo, I just have a makeup that makes me more tired and makes my lips and cheeks more pinkish because, well, that fits him in my opinion. I made the bear plush Abel carries in the basket as a detail since I plan on adding the basket in the future with all types of goodies and stuff in it that I can just give to people at cons, and that's Abel basically done. I set this cosplay as a challenge for myself to finish by the end of the year, and I almost did that. This year has been absolutely insane, and to be fair, I wouldn't be able to do this costume without the support of you all guys. We're now at 23,000 subscribers and almost 2,000 followers on Instagram, where you can follow me if you still don't. The biggest thanks goes to all the people who supported me on Coffee. They invested their real money into this, so shoutout goes to Adel Creative, Some Claricos, Retrop15, Holo Cosplay, and Naya Kelsik and Mama Mama, who, even though I don't know who are, will forever be in my hearts. Thank you deeply. You guys are the Hazbins who built my hotel of opportunities. We'll see each other some other time. Until then, I hope you will all have yourself a great life. I can smell the sea and treasure in the distance already. Yarr!